Well, if there can be no arrangement, then we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Really?
Welcome to Morons
Mince Movies.
I am your host, Moron Sam Munoz, and I'm here with my fellow morons, Ublester Peñalosa II, and Akam, Mr. Proximus Caesar Arturo.
Cool. All right, sweet. Yeah, everybody.
That's the best I could do.
What a wonderful day.
What a wonderful day it is today, because today we are mincing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kingdom
yes.
of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what I
it
said.
Yeah, it was you said.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right.
I was just using it for emphasis.
Yeah,
sure.
let's get into it.
Yeah,
general thoughts, folks.
General thoughts?
Well, first, actually, real quick, I think I overheard you guys saw the movie today.
We did
Yeah.
see it today.
Well,
today,
I was
Friday.
I was gonna get to that. Fuck, dude. So, all right, this happened off camera. I'm just gonna say it this way because we haven't really digested what just happened today.
Yes.
We were talking about each other's day, and I was like, yeah, I was at work, and I realized I had yet to see the movie, so I caught an early viewing at the Block, and this guy was like,
At the
what
block?
time at the Block? And I was like, well, I believe it was the 11:30 a.m. showing. Why do you ask, good sir? And he was like, you son of a bitch. I saw the 11:30 a.m. showing
Yes.
at the Block. Unbeknownst to each other,
We
we
were in
saw
the
the
same
movie
place.
together. It was pretty much a date.
Yeah,
just
pretty much a
without
date,
ever
man.
sitting next to each
I'm
other,
surprised-
looking at each other, acknowledging each other's existence.
You know, I shit you not, I was also going to text you about whether you were going to be watching it today because I figured you were going to be watching it today.
yeah. I didn't have time to watch it Thursday night. What was that?
Big ass
And
night,
so I was in the same situation.
Same.
I was like, fuck. I need to
Yeah.
watch this,
Yeah.
and I only have time in the early morning.
Yep.
And so 11:30 was the
Nice.
first showing. I was
First
like,
showing.
all right, I'm going to that.
And we just
And
found this out,
today.
what was it, like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, we
But no.
never. I'm surprised we didn't bump into each other at the Block. It's not like that theater was packed or
No,
anything.
man, it wasn't.
Yeah, and I came in
Where were you guys
right
seated?
when the last trailer
Yeah.
was happening, which was the Deadpool
I'm
one.
pissed about that because I had intentionally not watched this fucking trailer, and lo and behold, what's the fucking trailer that comes on before the movie starts?
Deadpool and
Fucking
Wolverine.
Deadpool. And I shit you not, I tried to do I covered my eyes and plugged my ears. I kid you not, I did that, but I can still hear. I clearly could hear them talking, and I was like, I'm all the way in the fucking top. I'm not gonna make it to the bottom
That's
exit.
what I was going to suggest that
You
you
were
leave.
the top.
Yeah,
You
so-
were you were
so-
behind me.
Yeah, I was behind you.
Ah.
You know what? At one point, I was like, that fucking big ass head needs to get out of the fucking
That
way.
guffawing
Yeah.
laughter is so
Ah,
familiar.
right?
That's what I was gonna say. How did you not recognize my laugh?
I didn't hear you laughing. That fucking
think-
theater was loud as shit. And I don't know
It was
what parts
pretty
you
loud.
laughed
I was
at.
going to say,
There's
someone
there's
dies.
I remember watching a comedy.
There's like one funny part.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
guess.
let's get to the movie. We spent 3
So
minutes talking about.
Well, ultimately, what I want to say is it's fresh in your guys' minds.
Very
Yes,
fresh.
yes,
fresh.
yes.
Yeah, I
Very
saw
fresh.
it last night.
Okay.
All right, let's
So-
general thoughts. Let's go with the one who's not as fresh.
Yeah, no, I had a great fucking time. I thought it was a really interesting direction on where to take the franchise. Because, I mean, yeah, this is set 300 years after the...
Did they say how many years?
I feel like I
they
saw
say
that
3 generations.
3 generations, yeah. And I
Three
feel like
generations?
I've seen that written
no,
down somewhere.
it says many generations. It doesn't give a number.
I feel
No,
like I
that-
saw
at one
300
point-
in the official synopsis or something or another.
I
That
don't-
number
I don't
rings
know.
a bell.
I don't know,
But anywho, it is multiple
which
generations.
is something I want
later.
to talk about. It's
Yeah.
actually a very important thing I want to talk about later. Anyways, go.
No, so I thought that was a bold choice. You
Yeah.
know, to not mainly just go off of the events of the last film and
Right.
kind of let
To pick
that
up.
trilogy stand because it is. I mean, as we've discussed, it's a really really good trilogy.
Yeah.
and it's severely
Yes.
underrated in my opinion.
And you can watch that trilogy recap in the description or
Somewhere
up here
below
somewhere.
or on the
Yeah,
left.
yeah. Anyways,
Maybe on
continue.
the right.
Continue.
And so the decision to make a film that took place so much longer after was a bold move. And interestingly, I just love the way. We'll get into this, of course, but the legacy of Caesar and how that's
Yeah.
almost become religion.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we're gonna get,
very
and we want to, and I want to get into
intentional.
it.
Yeah.
So, but I just love that this direction, that the direction the film went in, something unexpected.
Very cool.
And I really like what they did with it.
Yeah.
Samuel?
Overall, I thought the movie was good. I do have some issues with it that has to do with the humans. But I thought everything that had to do with the apes was really good. I also enjoyed how Caesar's legacy is portrayed in the film. I liked the ape societies that are shown in the film. Everything with the apes was great. The visual effects are fantastic.
Stunning.
Yeah,
I
man.
know Doom Part 2 is getting a lot of praise for its visual effects, but I think this has been the best visual effects of the year so far for me.
Yep.
There's some scenes in there where apes are in water and it looks really good. Like
I had to remind myself
very
that,
real.
oh shit, this is CGI.
Yeah, many
Like-
times I thought, like, are they using real apes
Yeah.
here? Like, is there a real ape? Somehow,
Yeah.
how did they get it to look so photorealistic? I mean, it's just...
Bananas. It's bananas. Yeah. No.
No monkeying around, Noob.
No, okay, stop.
Okay,
Stop.
go. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, so visual effects are great. I thought the
Yep.
cinematography, a lot of great shots of just the environment, the nature that's there.
Yep.
The leftover civilization that has now been taken over by nature was really good to see. All of that.
It was good to see. Sam, it
What?
was good to see the civilization.
I love when civilization falls.
It's just nature has taken over
Yes.
and the animals are in charge.
Yes.
This was beautiful.
That's
And
what was.
I was
As
rooting for the
nature
apes.
intended.
I was rooting for the apes.
I was rooting for the apes.
I know. So was I.
100%. Anyways,
all right,
yeah.
you liked
So
it.
I think overall it was good with some issues that I'll get
Yeah.
into later.
Yeah, I agree, man. So there were times where I thought to myself, this is slower paced than the Caesar trilogy. But then I had to remind myself that the first of the Caesar trilogy was also somewhat slower, mainly because they were setting up the world and they were kind of introducing the characters. So once I reminded myself of that, I thought, okay, I'm fine with this. They're kind of setting things up, and just as I expected, towards the end, I mean, that third act with this movie is it did leave me wanting more. So I judge a movie in part by whether I want to come back and watch the next installment, and this one left me wanting to come back and watch the next installment. So
Nice.
we'll talk about it more, of course, during the episode. But I general discussion, I loved it.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. Starting off, I guess, with the setup of this society. So the main character's name is Noah, I believe.
No, I know it. No, I know it.
No, it starts off with Caesar dying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true,
You
you're right.
get
Yeah,
a little
it is.
flashback.
Yeah.
And then apes together are strong.
Yeah. You get a little
Yes.
flashback of the last
Oh, and
moments.
then the window.
Yeah, the
on the-
emblem.
Yeah, which has
is
be-
very
which
important,
become
as
a
we see.
sign,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
then
it's
we-
Maurice. They're
And then we
cremating
flash
him.
forward, and what it says, it just says many generations later.
Yes.
Which to me
Maybe,
is
yeah.
going to be an issue that I want to bring up. But
Okay.
anyways, the fact that they didn't really specify how many years have passed really
If it
bothered
turns
me.
out that they did, would that change it for you? Because I
Well,
want to say
it would have
not-
given me an idea. So let's
Can we
just-
Google that, producer?
Can we?
By any
See,
chance?
yeah.
I don't want to get
Sorry.
into. I don't want to get into it now.
Right.
But because I want to establish a little bit about
Just
Noah's
popped open a
clan and
bottle.
everything. So Noah's the main character. We see him. We start out the movie, and he's
Yes.
hanging out with two of his friends. I believe one was named Amaya or Anaya or something
Yeah.
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right,
Correct.
and I forget the other
I don't
one's
remember
name.
either.
But
I was gonna pretend to remember, as hopefully our producer scrolled, but he didn't.
but he's busy doing.
It's okay. Thank you.
But
Noah. We appreciate
anyways, they're going through this forest area. You're not really sure what's happening, but they
It
end
looks
up.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. There's very good cinematography here, and this clan is obsessed with eagles. They have this sort of tradition of bonding with eagles, and Noah and his
Raising
friends,
eagles.
raising Noah and his friends go and I actually kind of hated this. They were stealing eggs
Yeah,
from eagles to raise them as their own
their own.
as pets and use them for their own get favors and things like that.
Please elaborate.
They would use the eagles to hunt for them.
They were
and things like that.
coexisting.
Yeah,
I guess
coexisting.
They would go and hunt fish.
I mean, they would steal the eggs from their mother.
And, as you recall, it is the law they always have to leave one.
Yeah,
so they
behind.
care about
how-
the ecosystem.
Yeah, how
So-
nice of them to steal all their brothers and sisters from
And
them.
leave one behind.
Look,
Yeah.
it's the circle of life, man. It's the circle of life. But basically, yeah, we start off with
Sam,
this
do you get
small
upset when
tribe.
the lion eats the gazelle?
Yeah.
Do I get upset when the lion eats the gazelle? No, but I do get upset when
Lion
trains.
humans
the baby gazelle to use it in the farm.
when humans who should be smarter
they're
and
apes.
civilized. These
So-
are civilized apes. Anyways,
So anyway,
It's kinda
we
fucked up,
start.
man.
Yeah, but they portray it very beautifully. It looks like they're coexisting. So they kind of brush over. You're right. They brush over that we're stealing babies from a defenseless eagle.
Yeah.
But they are,
Well, I wouldn't say they're defenses. They're pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're sneaking when they're gone. Anyway, it's like a birthright. It's like a
Yes.
like a
it's like a coming of
Pass-
age.
pa- yeah.
It's a rite
tradition.
of passage.
Right
Yes,
of- there you go.
of
That's what I
passage.
was
Thank
looking
you,
for.
Arturo.
You're
It's a
welcome.
rite of
This
passage.
is why you're here. This is why you're
And
here.
out of the 3 that are on this journey, Noah doesn't get one because there's a rule you have to leave one behind.
Yes.
They find the nest that only has 3. So they're like, well, we can only take 2. We have to leave one behind. So he says, fuck that. I'm going to go higher. I'm going to
Which
climb
was
higher.
badass.
That whole
how he
process,
did it.
him
Yeah.
climbing and the swinging, very cool. Anyway,
a
he
good
goes
first
to the
scene,
higher
yes.
nest.
Yeah, it was great. I was very engaged.
Goes to the higher nest, finds another nest. The fucking eagle returns. There's chaos. He almost dies, but they each have their own egg.
Yeah.
They
They're
go
gonna
back.
raise them together the way they were
It's
raised.
gonna be fucking awesome. And on the way back to their clan, they encounter Mae.
Yeah,
Well,
May.
we
who is
don't
the
know
human.
her yet.
Yeah.
They
An
encounter
echo,
a human.
as they were
An echo, yes.
Yeah, they call them
yes.
echoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't really show her. It's kind
No,
of
and I
just like
love
it's just
that,
a
like,
blur.
and it's very like a boogeyman thing, like at the very beginning. Like it's this legend, it's this myth. Don't go off into the long grass because that's where the monsters are.
Yeah.
And that's how it felt, and I loved that. That's all that they were exposed to.
tribe.
And we're gonna
Yeah.
keep getting into this, but like I just love that theme of like, I don't know if you guys remember Plato's Allegory of the Cave.
yes, allegory of the cave.
Thank you.
Allegory of the cave. Yes.
Was that on Nickelodeon?
yeah.
It was a paper we had to read it in.
It's
English,
a philosophy
English
book.
class.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
But it's the idea of where you live compared to what you see out in the bigger world.
Yeah.
So that's how they thought they were so disconnected from the myth of humans.
Yeah.
And I just loved seeing that perspective
Yeah,
versus
well-
what we get to see as the
Yeah,
film
well, humans
develops.
have become in this time now just like
rarity.
how we see animals, and I liked all that stuff later. But going back, so this clan, has this relationship with the eagles, and they're sort of identified by that, right?
Yeah.
And Noah.
Cool how they each carry the
No.
eagle.
Noah's father is the leader of this clan, right?
Yes.
He's a lead elder.
He's the lead
And
elder.
whatnot, and he's just having trouble bonding with the eagles there and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, Noah shows up and he's obviously the awkward, like he hasn't stepped up to that, vision that his dad has for him, and they portray that beautifully. They make him kind of scared of the eagles as he's walking in, and he's cowarding in his dad's shadow, and his dad
Yes.
has
Master
commands.
of birds.
Yeah, he commands this authority with the eagles. So you kind of get the impression this kid has a big shoes to fill.
Yes.
And that night, right before that big ceremony where they're going to present their eggs and
Do their rite of passage.
do their rite of passage, he encounters that human that he encountered.
Yes.
Who, by the way, the reason why the human is there is because I think he took the blanket, or for another reason. But
That was the
She's
blanket
trying to
wasn't
get
involved
food.
yet.
She's
trying to get
food. Yeah.
and they get into a scuffle and she pushes him and she
Breaks
fucking-
the egg.
She breaks his
egg.
egg that's
Yes.
hanging on his chest.
Oh, that's
Yes.
and I saw that and I was like, and it's like midnight at
Yes.
this point.
Yeah.
So that leads him to go out into the night to find
try to get
another
Noah.
egg.
He's gotta please his dad. Have you seen this movie, Noel?
No.
Negative.
Oh shit.
So this is where things
Should
get
we go into
interesting.
this much detail to ruin it for Noel?
Yes,
he
yes,
knows
it's his
it.
fault. And
He's not listening.
It is. So he goes into the wilderness to try to find another egg, and this is where things get interesting. Where these other apes from another clan, you don't really know where they're coming from at this point, right?
masks.
Yes.
But they have masks on, they have armor. They have
Fucking
some more,
sticks. What do you call those?
progressive
Prodding-
weapons.
prodding sticks?
Yeah, there were Nightwing sticks actually. I believe.
Yeah, his batons, knife with batons.
Electricity batons. Yes, from
And-
the Arkham series.
Yes, and there's a whole encounter with one of the warriors from the Eagle clan, right?
Yes.
Which Noah bumps into and everything, and then those group of soldiers, you hear them say the name Caesar for Caesar, and then you get the idea like, oh, maybe they are like
good guys.
I don't know. I thought they were descendants of that Caesar's initial
got it.
tribe.
Okay.
That's what I thought at first. Like, oh, these must be the descendants.
Okay, I didn't have that thought.
Which I mean, what they're saying for
but I can
Caesar.
see that. No, I'm saying I can see that.
And so
I see where you got there, but you're wrong.
No, I didn't say you were
well,
wrong.
yeah, I think
I didn't have that.
The
thought.
movie ends up showing that I am wrong.
Yeah,
We're not really sure where they come from or anything like that.
Yeah.
But then these soldiers end up going to the village and they burn and
Massacre everyone.
They basically they don't massacre everyone, but they capture everyone
With
to
guns.
take them back.
No, just kidding.
No, not with guns.
Yeah.
I thought that was really clever how they shocked the horse to get it to go back to its place
Yeah,
of refuge.
to follow
and
it.
That's,
Yeah,
ooh,
there was a lot of intensity in that. There was a lot of suspense because Noah is watching this from behind the bushes, and he sees he's listening to what they're saying, which is follow this horse. Let's go back. There has to be a camp near here.
Dude,
let's go
man.
and kill them all and burn it. And so he sees as the horse that he was riding basically starts leading them off, and he starts freaking out. So he tries to go by foot. And I thought they were going to have him show up before. Because the way they edited that, like they show him running through the bushes, and then they show
they're on horses,
I
so
know,
they're going
but
faster.
again, the way they
and
edited
it's also
it,
a movie trope, like where he gets there
where
just in
somehow-
time.
Yeah, he took a shortcut.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I wasn't sure where they were gonna go with that, but no, when he shows up, everything's on fire.
burning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty bad.
That's
Yeah, they're plummeting and pillaging, and there's a whole encounter with the lead soldier gorilla.
Yeah.
The gorillas again doing their
Did
thing.
they ever say his
with
name?
I don't remember.
I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I feel like we saw it earlier. On
And
the,
he ends up
on the
fighting-
screen over here.
He ends
Yeah,
up fighting
somewhere.
Noah's father. He ends up fighting Noah's father, and Noah ends up being in that confrontation. And sadly, spoiler alert here, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole
people
episode.
die.
The whole
based
thing has
over
been,
there.
yeah.
At this point.
Sadly, Noah's father dies. He's killed by that soldier. And they end up enslaving his entire clan and
Yeah.
taking him back to where
But Noah survives.
Noah survives. Yes. Noah is left for dead. He
comes up from the
he
ashes
falls and he ends up being thought that he's dead.
Yeah.
And then
That's
this
where he
ends up
goes on
becoming
foot.
a revenge story in
That's
that
where he's
sense.
like, I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna kill him.
Yes,
kill 'em
yes.
all.
So he's on his way to find them. He's tracking them, and that's when he ends up meeting
Well, he also makes the promise, right, to his dad to save his mother or something, or the family.
to avenge. He makes a
To
promise
avenge,
to
yeah.
avenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
to
like that.
avenge and
Avenge
save.
me is what he said.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So he goes on his journey, and that's when he meets an
Raka.
orangutan. What is it?
Raka.
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 Yes, yes. I
He
love
was-
this.
He was
Raka
so
was
awesome.
awesome.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And this is where I think it gets really interesting because this is when we get introduced to the whole Caesar mythology.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with the
yes.
soldiers, as they're-
Caesarology, if you will.
Yeah, Caesarology.
Caesarology.
Yes,
Nice.
yes. With the soldiers, as they're burning down this village, there's many times where they're like, "For Caesar,
Yeah.
for Caesar." So you get this feeling again that maybe these are the descendants of the Caesar clan
keeping
or whatever.
Caesar's plan going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping his plan
Well,
going.
clearly they're not. Because Caesar
killing
wouldn't be
apes.
for this
Yeah.
type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But you meet this
They're
orangutan
twisting.
Raka. Yeah. Who then is confirms that these people have twisted Caesar's words and they're using it as
It's a shame when that happens, isn't it?
yes, it is a shame, and they're using it to gain power, right? They've basically corrupted his mythology to gain control over people and so on. And Raka is this sort of you could maybe like a priest, or I don't know what you would call him.
Shaman, if you will. maybe,
Yeah.
perhaps? Oh.
He's
a wise man. He's a wise.
he's a wise man who's been his responsibility is to sort of keep this, the words of Caesar and teach them to people.
I loved that, and I don't know if it's maybe because I've been watching Extra 97. but it reminded me so much of Beast.
Yeah,
I'm not getting into spoiler territory.
I feel he's more than Beast.
It brought back that like the wisdom that he has, and it just the mentor role.
Yes, it felt very much like a religion, as you said earlier, Arturo, which I really liked. Like the Caesar religion. Caesar is like Jesus Christ to the apes, basically.
Yeah, and it's a nice kind of
or Muhammad to the Islam people, or Buddha to the Buddhists. He's that. That's what Caesar has become. Yeah. And so you have
Paul Atreides to the
Paul
the sand people. Yeah, Paul
Atreides.
It's the exact same thing, which is when enough time passes, translations after telling the story and again, shit gets twisted. Yeah. And I love seeing that shit because that's exactly what would happen if you have this society where this one ape was the very first to kind of revolt and step up after fucking 200-300 years, if that's what it's been. There's gonna be different interpretations,
and especially because this is all word of mouth too. There's
they don't know how to read.
They're learning how to read. It's not documented. There's nowhere to play that video back to.
There's a great scene of Raka showing Noah the books and everything, and telling him like these symbols have meaning.
I love that.
I enjoyed the whole talk of like, there was a time when humans were plentiful, and humans lived among the apes and things like that, and like I love that whole how a mythology grows and evolves and changes and things like that.
How it's so hard for them to believe. Like they listen to it and they're like, "Whoa, could you imagine?
That's crazy.
Could you imagine
humans talking? What the fuck?
Wild." Because the only humans they know are the ones that, and we kind of brushed over this, or maybe we haven't gotten to it.
No, they haven't. The humans haven't. The main human hasn't really. She's
all we know. Yeah, they're primitive.
Them.
That's all we know. Yeah,
she's
we haven't even
them.
met all the other ones yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
At this point, when Noah meets Raka. And Raka's telling him this story. Mae, the human who's been following Noah, shows up, and like he tries to scare her away, like get out of here, give me shoot.
Yes.
And Raka's like, no, dude, let them. Get out of here! Shoot!
That's exactly how it happened in the movie.
He dropped the southern accent and everything.
Spanish accent too. That's what my mom there's a cat in the back. Usha! Like, what does that mean?
Pincho
That's
mano.
what Noah did that to the human. And then fucking Raka was like, no, dude, chill.
Yes.
Let her follow
They get
us.
cold easy there. She's hungry. Yeah.
Much like humans
do with animals.
Did to the wolf back in the prehistoric years. They tamed them by throwing scraps to them at night, and these wolves, these coyotes that would hunt the humans were like, hey, I can just stick with these people and they give me food. Cool.
Can I just say I love that entire scene in the campfire where they're talking about humans as if they were animals.
Yes, and she's like just going to the apples.
Yeah, and I loved it because fuck you humans. You deserve this so badly. I was like, yes. Yeah. That's exactly.
Hey, how'd you feel about the death of capitalism?
I hope every human. Has capitalism died here? It hasn't.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any paying credit cards and trying to maximize their profits.
And it's all corrupt.
Offsetting their bananas. They offset their bananas to the Cayman Islands, and they're not able to pay banana tax.
How racist you are!
I'm just saying, I didn't see any of that happening in this planet of apes.
First of all, there is no capitalism, and it's a corrupt world where you have a dictatorship.
It looks like they're getting along pretty good.
I don't see any socialism going on there.
Lots of open
There's
air.
No socialism.
Pollution has gone down.
Yeah, because the humans are gone.
Food is plentiful.
The people who ruined the earth are gone.
Capitalism is gone.
I have to deal with this all the fucking time. You guys should see what happens off camera. I walk into these conversations and I'm like,
going back to
there goes another hour on my phone until they finish.
Going back to the movie, they comment about how the humans smell, how they're primitive, like sometimes, and I love how they talked about sometimes they seem like they understand or they have these reactions. Kind of like how we do and things like that. Yeah. And I just loved it. I loved it because it was just a mirror of how we are as humans and how we treat animals badly, how we treat them as the other and we don't give them a chance. Anyways.
So they tame Mae, and
they don't really tame her because what we find out
they give her apples.
She's there on purpose.
Yeah, but they give her apples and she agrees to tag along, and they now are letting her on the horse, and they're like, well, she can't walk, we have to give her on the horse.
Yes.
And like he lets her use the blanket.
She can't give up.
And then that's when they find another group of
clan
humans
of humans. Yes.
out in the river.
And I love
the zebras.
Real quick, oh yeah, the zebras. Yeah,
What the hell is that?
I wish they could have
horse.
cussed. That would have been the perfect part to drop the F-bomb. If they would have shown Raka being like, what the fuck is that?
Just that.
He does say, "What the
striped
heck?"
horse? Yeah.
Horse
Striped
with stripes.
Anyway, there's
no,
zebras.
I was gonna say I love the subtlety of you already immediately knowing that something is different here because the humans that we see are very, for lack of a better term, very caveman looking.
Yes.
You know,
And
they're
this one has like a
loincloth,
nice tank
and
top.
she's
and
Yes.
yeah.
yes.
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say a nice tank top, but you can clearly tell her clothes are more clothing
Yeah.
like of what we're
Yeah.
accustomed
Well,
to.
this is
and you know something's off.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I'm gonna just get into it. My main
Get
issue.
into it,
my
Sam.
main issue with this movie, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
So I mean, I didn't like the cast. I don't know. I feel like this girl was way too pretty, way too modern looking, and I mean, like even her. Right away, I noticed the clothes too. I was like, those clothes look way too modern. And I was like, I hope they kind of try to explain this. But even this is where the whole how many years have actually passed kind of thing really got into my mind. Like, okay, how many years have passed? Like, even if it's, let's say it's been 100 years or so, like, are they really making modern clothes like this now? Wouldn't most of these clothes have disintegrated?
No,
Yes,
not
clothes.
after 100.
Yes and no.
Clothes,
Yeah.
clothes.
I don't know. I
end
see
up-
where you're coming from.
like why? And so when
Yeah.
they showed the clan, I was like thinking, this is how I pictured they should be looking. You
Just
know,
so you'll know,
caveman like.
Just so you'll know, though, there are scrolls, written scrolls of things.
Scrolls. I heard scrolls like
Scrolls.
the aliens from the
Oh,
MCU,
no.
from the
Paper.
Marvel.
Yeah, but
That's
still,
paper.
there's humans have the ability of making something that's
Yes.
gonna last more than 100 years.
Well, I
But
mean,
her clothes
clothing
felt.
being
See,
one of
The
the
clothes felt like they were kind of new. I mean, they
Yes.
had been
Okay.
tattered,
Yes.
but they didn't feel like they were like old.
Right,
No,
but
but to-
that was you. Sorry,
Go ahead.
You find out at the end of the movie why
Yes.
that is.
Yes,
See,
yes.
So they
You do.
don't. It does
Agrees.
suck that you have to go through the entire movie
Yes,
with that
yes.
in the back of your head.
It's true.
and
It's
then
true.
and we'll get to that too, as well as you point out. Like these aren't necessarily clothes that have existed for the past 200, 300, 400 years. These are clothes that are clearly made now.
Today, yes.
How do you
Exactly.
know that?
Within
Within her universe?
It looks like
Right
it
then
looks
and
like
there.
2024 clothing.
Right, because at the
How
end of
did
the movie,
this last for 100
Because
years
at
or
the end
more?
of the movie-
Or more.
Sam,
Or more.
How does Gen Z dress today, like the 90s? So how's to say that
Wait,
fashion
but
in the
again, we
future
have a civilization that is
has
recreating
just come
this.
back? Fashion has come
no,
back,
no,
Sam.
this is a world where there's no civilization, and they don't have people making these clothes en masse.
Hey,
That's not-
some
listen.
fashion choices are timeless, Sam. Okay.
Sam. The thing
Okay,
is,
okay. Hold on. The clothes is just one thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, going on to the story, and when we get into the next part of the story, I'll get into the next part of
So
my issue
you
here.
were complaining that she just looked too pretty?
She just looked way too modern for this world. It just looked way too modern. Her hair
Right,
was
but
very
see,
well kept.
again-
her like,
Hey,
and
Nick-
again, and I
Sam,
get
hold on.
that later. They kind of sort of
Yes.
explain that. I get that.
And also,
but hold on.
No, one last.
no, let's not
if I may,
finish.
if I may.
No, you may not. Let's not finish
Hold on.
because
Okay,
he's-
okay,
let's-
finish,
he's
finish,
just
finish.
like with
Let's
you.
do it.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
go
all
back.
right,
Let him
I'll
finish.
finish.
Let's go
I'll
back to the
finish.
story at this point, right? They meet the human clans, and she's kind of sad seeing them how primitive they are and whatnot. And then the soldiers show up again, and they're coming in, I guess, to round up the humans. Not sure what they're really doing. The humans end up not showing up again. That kind of gets forgotten. But at this point, they see the girl, right, and they're trying to capture her.
Specifically her.
Specifically her, and then you come to find out why later on, and then at this point she ends up revealing that she knows how to talk because she's in a situation where she's about to get
Yeah.
captured, but
That
she
was
sees
awesome, by the
Noah.
way.
She sees Noah in the
dude,
distance.
It was so reminiscent of the very first
Caesar, yeah.
of Rise when he yelled
Caesar.
no
Yeah.
and her yelling Noah. Like that.
Noah.
That was
yeah.
a callback. For
Yeah.
sure.
It
I
was.
love that.
Sort of. Sort of.
I remember
sort
in
of.
the theater I was going like,
Oh,
stop, wait. Oh, sorry. I thought the red blinker stopped.
No,
Sorry.
no, we're good. So she screams it, and then Noah saves them, and there's a great scene where Rocco comes in and knocks out
Dude,
the
that
other
was
guy.
so sick.
Caesar
that
would
timing
understand.
of
What do you
that.
say? What do you
Yes.
after Caesar would forgive? Or Caesar would understand.
And then okay, so they manage to escape.
Mm-hmm.
They come to a safe place. They're talking now,
Mm-hmm.
and she ends up revealing that hey, she's all along she's been kind of playing it silent,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
because that's what she thought they expected of her, and didn't want to reveal anything. And she's kind of hiding stuff. And she ends up just talking very normal, very modern like.
Yeah.
Which again, it went back to, it was like, how many years have actually passed? Like, I feel this language shouldn't sound like this, and like even the apes have their own sort of like developed language. Like, even though it's English, it has a certain tone to it. It has a certain way that it's kind of evolved in their society. But for somehow this human, I don't know what's going on with her at this point, right? Like, where's she from? Her English is like 2024 English.
Well,
it's like,
respond?
and it's like very modern. Everything is very
I've been
modern.
fucking waiting, but
Okay,
go ahead.
go for it.
Respond. No, you go.
So first off, everything you have about her character and Mae and how she looks and everything in modern to pretty whatever. Sam, maybe she's just born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I was waiting for that setup. Thank you. Now I'm done. No, it's good.
That was it.
Because that did come up in my thoughts too. But then when we get to the end of the film, we realize that there are these people, these humans who
have been somehow surviving,
who have this advanced intellect,
Okay.
who clearly have access to electricity, who by some method, in some way, are able to, in my opinion, from everything that we've seen and what they've been able to document, they've been able to get audio or what have you from decades past, and that's helping them keep whatever English that they have. And in the same sense where you feel like it's modern.
She does say that she was taught whatever, but
exactly, and it hasn't changed from here on there. That's why, because there was no advance in the civilization, so that's why they also sound like today, because there was nothing to keep going. Like, the slang hasn't changed or anything like that.
Why wouldn't it? Things just change within a culture.
I don't know, Sam. Were you around 200-300 years ago? How do you know?
Listen,
go read a book
Sam,
from the early 1900s and read a book from today. It's very different. But
see, there's also advanced. Yeah.
Right, but no, just let me. You guys are both kind of hung up on this one, man. You have to
it's
remember,
very important because
remember that these people that have survived underneath that bunker, clearly they're underneath this massive bunker, which we still have to learn more about. For all we know, part 2 of this movie is going to really show how, yes, this was
I feel
a
like
bunker
there's
that
no
was built.
progression of society. That's why.
But see that.
But
right.
there should have been a regression, is what I'm saying.
No.
Yes.
No.
Like,
You don't know that yet.
how society has fallen down completely. There should have been a regression, and it doesn't seem like it. Let's move on to move on to the story, because
in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, they did establish that these people were genetically immune. So therefore, that also plays a role into there.
But the evolution of that virus was starting to affect them again. Remember, that's how they started losing.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Started losing their speech and
war.
everything like that. And it's fine that there might still be a batch of humans that were even immune to that evolved state of the virus.
As far as I know, I'm immune to COVID.
Yeah, as far as you know. Anyways, so moving on with the story, they end up.
So they capture them.
They capture them, and Raka dies. By the way,
yeah,
it's a big moment.
Oh my god, dude,
which is a great,
fuck, man,
which is a great. It's a good moment in the movie, and I like.
I was really hoping you would come back.
Another badass callback when they were on the bridge and moving forward, and then underneath it were the apes, just like in Rise with San Fran.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they were
cool.
Yeah.
I did not think about that at all.
Oh, you're welcome.
But
this is why you're here. So yes, they get Noa and Mae get captured. Raka dies in a pretty intense scene.
Man.
It's kind of sad. He's actually one of my
Kinda.
Yeah,
It's
kind of sad.
heart-wrenching. Jesus.
I mean,
I cried into my popcorn. Made it extra salty.
He was a very good character. I loved
he's
him.
with Caesar
I loved
now.
him. I loved him. He's with Caesar now.
Too soon.
Yes.
Ooh, too soon.
So they get captured, and then this is where you find out that there's been this sort of kingdom that's been established of the apes.
Very clever.
Right,
Sam.
right.
Yeah.
But and who's
a kingdom of the planet of
whose
the apes?
king
if you will?
is Proximus Caesar.
Proximus Caesar.
Dude,
Yeah.
just that name alone, like
It's a
the
good-
next Caesar.
Good name.
Yeah,
Good name.
You know, it's on purpose.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And he's been basically using Caesar as a religion as well to basically justify his enslavement of other clans that he's been,
All his actions,
conquering and whatnot,
yes.
so that he can open this bunker.
The
Ape
vault.
together strong.
He calls it the vault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ape
so he can
together
open this
strong.
bunker to get whatever these weapons that he believes humans have stashed
No,
in there.
He's not going for the weapons, man. He wants instant evolution.
Yeah, he thinks that there's a
secret to
technology in
instant-
there.
He thinks that the secret to instant evolution is inside those vaults. So he's trying to get in there for that.
So an important thing here happens where they end up taking Mae to William H. Macy's character.
William H. Macy.
Yeah, which I haven't seen in such a long time.
No, I feel
No,
like I
he's
haven't
been
seen
in,
him in anything since Jurassic Park 3.
Oh no, you guys are wrong, dude. What is that show?
No,
that
he was in
has?
a recent movie with John Cena. Something with Wiki or something.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
no.
He was in a TV show. I forgot.
Stanicky.
I forgot what it's called.
Something Stanicky.
Called like trash
Stanicky.
people or something.
Right? Did you see it?
No.
With Zac Efron?
Trash people.
It's funny.
No.
No, it's not trying. Anyways,
Anywho.
Yeah.
and you kind of find out, hey, there's another human that can also talk. So here's
Hitler's
my
wet
thing.
dream?
Okay, let's say it's been so here's the thing, guys.
How many years?
I
Let's
want
Google this.
let's say it's been 100 years. I'm just gonna put 100 years, right?
How many?
That should be. I don't think that's many generations. I feel that's just like
Kingdom
a
of
couple.
the Apes.
Not
I-
even a couple. That's like
Like,
one and a half.
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
yeah. So okay, so 100 years seems a little,
Set
right?
300 years after the
Yeah.
trilogy.
Okay, so it's been 300 years. This man talks as if he knows how it used to be before the virus, and everybody's
man?
talking. William H. Macy's character
Oh,
and
yeah,
even
yeah,
May's
yeah.
character, they're all talking as if they know how it was before. But it's been 300. This man wasn't even alive before the virus, but yet they all talk as if like but none of them have this sort of the way that the apes talk about the past, and like there's some mythology, there's some things that they might not know, but yet these people just know exactly what happened. That nothing has been changed, nothing has been muddled, nothing in the
I have a
history or anything like
response.
that. They all know how to
as
read.
do
They know.
I.
They all remember the human history. Like they know who Vonnegut is. For God's sakes, it's been 300 years. How the hell does anybody know?
Because there's
who
been
Kurt
no
Vonnegut is?
advancement to civilization.
No,
They
but
show
things
the
get
book.
There's
lost.
been nothing
Arturo.
past, but there's been
Things
nothing
get
past.
lost,
And all they
Arturo.
hold on to is their book.
This is in the bunker,
No, but
though.
things get
Yes.
lost. It's not in the bunker. They're
Okay,
not in the
she
bunker.
has it.
What would you do if
They're
there was
not in the
no
bunker.
movement forward in all of society
Yeah,
and all of
Sam.
culture?
I get it, I get it.
That's the only thing that exists.
I get it,
No,
but
and I
things
have-
get lost when you don't have a civilization that's able to hold on to the records.
They have
and
books.
there's nothing. And again, people, these people.
Listen,
think about how the
Sam.
apes talk about the past.
What about the
Even though-
dinosaurs?
Think
Stop.
about the apes.
Hold
What
on.
do you mean about
No.
the dinosaurs?
How
No,
do we
no,
know
no.
about dinosaurs?
Jesus, no,
Through
you're going
fossils
too far
and things
back.
like
Right.
that. But
The
You're
Bible?
going too far back. Hold on. Listen. Do you
Okay.
know how? Do you know how I know?
I get it, but we're talking about a world where civilization has prospered, and we've had millions of people who have kept those records and passed them on.
Do
This is
you
a
know-
civilization where it has fallen,
Sam.
and yet they're speaking as if there's been all these people that have kept
There's
the records
been
and
no
the history.
progression.
Why
Sam.
does
everything's
I
plateaued?
know, but things
Everything's
just fall.
Both of you
plateaued.
guys
Do you know how
you're
the Dark
You're
Ages-
arguing the wrong thing, and you're arguing the wrong thing. Just please shut up. Listen. He's not saying why haven't things advanced. He's not saying why isn't there a newer record.
Why haven't
I
things
never argued
regressed?
that.
Yeah. But you keep saying things plateaued. Yeah, we know he's not denying that things just stopped advancing. He's not denying
Yes.
that the fashion looks the way it is and that it's a book, not some unknown author from 2040 that we don't know about. He's not arguing those
No,
things.
it-
But what you're arguing is also wrong. Do you know that during times of war, there are known situations in real life where human beings, regular human beings, farmers, villagers, milkmen, knew that the Nazis were attacking, and in order to preserve their history, their religion, their family heirlooms, they sacrificed their lives to take this shit
Yes,
and hide
yes,
it and
yes.
preserve it.
I understand
So
all
what
that.
makes you think that humans wouldn't do the same thing in the years leading? Fuck the monkeys.
But
this shit's really getting
that's a
fucking
different.
hairy.
Hold on, no. I think a better example, and I think hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say, is the movement from the fall of the Roman Empire into the Dark Ages, as they call it in our history, right?
Right.
What happened during that time? There was a regression of knowledge.
We were a little bit better off than
where
the Romans,
records
man.
were lost.
But
Hold
we
on,
were better
hold
off
on.
than the Romans.
Hold on.
What the fuck?
Let me explain what I'm trying to say.
Okay, go for it.
You have an advanced civilization like the Roman Empire, which falls, and then you have a time period where we have a regression in society. We have a
Right.
regression in society where we actually go back in terms of technology
Right.
and things of that sort.
Why?
Now in that example, civilization as a whole, the entire world doesn't completely collapse.
No.
We have a situation here in this universe where the entire civilization has collapsed, and there's barely small pockets of humans
You don't
alive.
know that. How-
and there's
how
no
do you know-
regression.
How do you know
okay.
the entire
regression.
civilization has
We
collapsed?
don't.
We do know that.
We do not.
At the
Sam,
end,
What are you
he
talking
actually
about?
makes
The only-
contact with another group of like.
Exactly. There's so much that we have left unanswered. The only thing that we saw in the original trilogy, again, is the Bay Area. We haven't seen
this
how
is-
the rest of the world is. Hold on, if I may. You're talking about the idea that there could be a regression, this and that, but like we're seeing that they held on to these things on purpose. We see that in the original trilogy, they had their iPads that didn't work, but that they were able to go through things.
This is 300 years later.
Yeah, no, and I get that. But
that was only 10 years later.
But look at that from that perspective, though. There's nothing moving forward in terms of their own civilization. So what you're holding on to the past even harder. You're preserving things even harder.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they have to go off of is the era where they were the ones that ruled the planet. That's the only thing they're holding on to because nothing has moved.
300.
That was the only reason I kept going back to that of the idea of the plateau is because there's been nothing. So they keep holding on to the past.
Think about how much time it's been 300
Sam,
years.
Yes,
and they're still trying to make
talking.
Nothing has happened.
You're talking about the Roman ages.
It
and the
seems
Dark
like
Ages.
it's only been 10 years.
But because
it seems like
those were the era
a small
where
amount of time has
kept
passed.
Going.
300 years changes so much, man.
I will
It seems like it's been 10 years. It seems like it was in Dawn where it's only been 10 years and they're still trying to make contact, everything like that. It's been 300 years. You would have by now moved on.
Like, there's nothing
no
to move
hope.
on to.
We would have created new
Sam.
cultures, new villages, and things like that.
No, clearly they've been holding on to the past this entire time because they can't move
Things
forward.
regress.
No,
in 300
listen.
years
Can
like
I
that.
play the devil's advocate here?
Play the devil's advocate, my devil.
Okay, I downloaded it earlier today, and I really have been wanting to play it. You guys keep going. No, for reals though, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say
DMX?
that I get where Sam is coming from because in that end scene where they show what's inside the bunker, and they're just kind of like, I think we made contact with Indiana. Hello, chest, or maybe they didn't say Indiana, but
I think they did.
like the knowledge with which they're operating things and the language and even the look.
Yes. It
It
feels
does
so
feel
modern.
like they managed. I'm not saying it's impossible, but basically what they're implying is that once they closed those doors to the bunker, they made sure to devote time and attention
To
to
keep
maintaining this 2023 feel for the sake of normalcy, which is not impossible.
Yeah.
Every generation seemed to have kept the exact same language, modern language, modern look. It's like, oh my God, like, nothing has changed with these humans.
I know where you're coming from. Even confined to a bunker where you don't have the ability to progress things. Maybe you don't have a sewing machine to progress this. Maybe all the audio recordings sound like this, people talking like this. So what you're listening to growing up is what you're going to talk like, which is things like this. They didn't suddenly develop a new culture that's gonna add an emphasis on certain words and be like, oh yeah, because of this culture that came and kind of mixed into our culture, now people have a different accent. That's what changes someone's dialect, is when you introduce a different region or a different accent, then they start combining words. But if in the absence of that,
I agree with that.
It's gonna sound the same.
No, think about other post-apocalyptic movies we've seen or TV shows we've seen, like Last of Us and
Mad Max?
Walking, Air Bud, Walking Dead or whatever, where you have these moments and they're moving from one part of the land to another, and you see a difference in change in culture. Things change just within a small amount of time.
But those examples are in the outdoors. Those examples are in the outdoors.
Even people who are confined, you'll have different cultures and things like that.
Right, but they're traveling from we're now in Louisiana.
Let's move on. Let's go back to the plot of the movie.
I just want to say
that that bothered me throughout the movie.
We all bring up valid points, and I feel like the story has yet to be finished. And we might find out more.
Perhaps they will save
in the following movies.
Yeah, perhaps they will save it.
And the very last thing I wanted to point out is that these films, the original trilogy takes place roughly 10 years ago.
What do you mean the original trilogy?
Oh, you mean like 10 years from our time?
Yeah, like 2014.
So we're saying 2024, but in reality, all of that shit is 2014 stuff.
So they advanced in 300 years, 10 years.
Sure, yeah. Okay,
moving on.
Your math is solid.
Let's get back to the movie.
Thank you.
So with all of that, we back to the movie.
So find out the reason why they're trying to open up this bunker that's locked is because Proximus thinks there's a secret to evolution.
Yes.
But we find out Mae has her own reasons to, there's a whole wheel image. I don't know how much you want to get into that whole conversation.
The whole thing, the reason why she's even there around there was because they had a mission to get there to retrieve this cassette thing 300
iPod.
years later, they somehow remember that this thing exists.
Yeah, you write it down and you teach it to the kids growing up.
Perhaps
in your bunker.
they found some plans and like, oh, this is where it is. But
Yeah.
anyways, so that's the reason why she's there all along. She's been with that mission from there the whole time. And she kind of reveals that to Noah. Noah has been basically enslaved, and he says, this is wrong. I need to save my people. And basically goes to Mae and is like, hey, let's work together.
Yeah.
I want to save my people. You want to get into this vault
Place. Yeah.
and let's do it, and let's destroy whatever's in there afterwards. So they come up with the
find
plan.
secret entrance.
Yeah, they find Mae always knew apparently there's an entrance to the
a
top.
side
They
gate.
have to
Deus Ex
climb.
Machina.
Yeah. There's the Deus Ex Machina. I don't see that thing. No, I don't. No, there's no Deus Ex.
Yeah, you're right.
No. They climb up the cliff. They get in there. She finds the cassette. There's some great scenes. Oh, by the way, Noah reunites with his two friends from the
Yeah,
beginning.
that was great.
Yeah, that was a nice
loved that.
emotional
Yeah,
moment. Really
definitely.
like
Very
that.
heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
And his mom.
I have to say,
We just
Dude, the
focused on
mom
the friends.
scenes, yeah, those were they
the
hit me,
emotional
man.
moments between the apes were so well done.
Yeah, man.
Like, god damn it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
was
if I say that. I don't know if I can say that was great acting.
It was.
because it's
It
motion
was great
capture,
acting.
but
Yeah.
there's a moment where like he when he finds his dad dead, he like kneels to it, and his face is so well done. And when he meets his mom, like there's a lot of great emotional moments with the apes. That's just wonderful.
Yeah, man.
This is why I think the visual effects were so good, because it really got to me, like how real they looked. Much better than the actual humans were. Anyways, so
you say we're catching
No. I was just gonna say that I was skeptical walking into this movie, because how do you top Andy Serkis as Caesar and like the great performance that he did? Because I found out that it wasn't gonna be him, and I was like bummed out. I was like, oh man, is it?
well, you gotta have new people. I think.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis was
But-
Caesar, and now Caesar's
No, but I was really hoping that they would bring him back to do this role.
Did you want him back as Caesar or somebody else?
No, as somebody
Oh, you just
else.
wanted
I just
wanted him in the
back.
movie.
He
Gotcha,
fucking
gotcha.
great,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I was very
amazing.
happy with the way this actor did it.
Yeah. So they get into the bunker. And she goes around doing her thing.
Yep.
She knows how to read.
some
She knows.
weapons.
Again, all of this really kept getting to me. Like, how does she know how to read? How has all of this information been kept all this time?
Yes.
I don't fucking get it.
I will
How
say-
did this happen? How did nothing regress?
No, and there was a
She
scene-
just knows everything. She
yeah.
knows what to do. She knows where to go.
She walks up to the motherboard and she's like,
It's-
switch, clank, 3, 4, 5. This.
Yeah,
butts
like
in
that's
green,
why I
butts
kept
in
saying,
blue.
like, how many generations have passed? Maybe it's
Yeah.
only been like 60 years. Maybe
Maybe
it's
she
in,
majored.
Maybe
So-
it's in ape
maybe
generations.
she-
I know
maybe she-
apes live much less than
No.
humans, so it's like 40 years or so.
Maybe she majored in this in Bunker
Anyways,
College.
she just knows exactly what to do. But the good parts in this is when they go back to the apes and they're finding the books and all the
Yeah.
leftover remnants
and
of
they see
human
the
civilization.
pictures.
Yeah, and they see the apes in cages, and
Dude.
you see again the emotion in Noah's face. He doesn't say anything, but you know his realization of
We
this.
used to be
This is what
pets.
it was before.
Yeah.
This is what it really
can't go
was
back to
before.
this. Mhm.
Yeah,
Can't go back to
and you
this.
can see that he's growing a sort of hatred for humans there.
Yes,
Like
yes.
humans aren't good.
Yeah, I mean.
And they weren't good to us, at least. And so they end up booby trapping the bridge, the dam that's
Yes, yes,
blocking
yes,
the
yes.
ocean, because the plan is once they open up the vault, they're gonna
it.
blow it up and they're gonna flood
Flood it.
everything. And Noah, with his namesake, he's gonna save his clan and
Yes.
save him from the
He's gonna
flood.
have an arc,
Another
if you
biblical reference there.
Ooh, yeah. It's funny because I thought of his name as Noah, not Noah. So
I
now
have no
it's
idea
like,
if it's
ooh.
NOA or
I think
NOH. Who knows?
I don't know. It's the way I saw it in my own head. Like in the subtitles in my mind, it was NOA. Yeah.
Wild.
But then they open up the vault and Proximus
There's Proximus
was
man.
there. I guess he got tipped off. Not sure what happened there, or he figured it out on his own.
Yeah.
But then he's like, "You fucking A."
Yeah.
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 I thought you
Damn
were.
dirty ape.
You damn dirty ape. Thought you were clever. But he's happy that they got the vault open.
Yep.
But he's pissed off that he was betrayed, and he's like, "How can you choose a human over an ape?"
Yeah.
He threatens to kill the
His mom.
other his mom, right?
His
His mom,
mom.
or is his girlfriend?
No,
his mom.
I believe
His
it
mom?
was his mom.
It's
Oh
his
no,
mom.
actually,
I think it was
I think it was the
the
girlfriend.
girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Regardless,
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Somebody
threatening
close
somebody.
to him.
No, Noah has a first mate that
Yeah.
he's trying to kill, and but then Mae pulls out a gun that she found.
Oh,
While
that
she
my
was,
gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and shoots one of the guards.
And no one was like, oh. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, and everybody's like, and Proximus is like, oh.
Proximus.
Oh,
his
he's
I'll let you
eyes-
go if
his
you got
eyes
more
lighting
back
up.
there.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
happy that he's found some technology he doesn't know. And Mae goes and what does Proximus say? I'll let you go if you have
Yeah,
more.
if you have more of it. Yeah, exactly what
Yeah.
it said.
So,
So
yeah.
go.
So what the way the whole scene plays out is the reason why he's threatening to kill Noah's mate is because he specifically asks him, like, did she do something down there? Did she
Yes.
set a fucking trap? And he's not answering. He's like, you would choose a human over your own, maybe it is
Your own kind,
your own
over
kind.
apes.
And then that's when Mae shoots him, and that's when Proximus is like, yeah, fucking fine, just leave. But can I find more of that in there? And then that's when they start getting excited, and I think that's when Mae runs to the
Mae
detonator.
runs and,
Yeah, she
and
does,
detonates the
yeah.
bridge, and
Yep.
the flood happens.
He's like, what have you done?
And what ensues is a chaos. Everyone's trying to
Yeah,
climb
man.
up to save themselves from the flood.
Madness.
There's a great scene where a gorilla is chasing
madness.
after Noah.
Oh,
That's where I
yeah.
was just amazed by the visual effects because the water on the gorilla and Noah, it was just
Yeah.
really well done.
The way
My
they were
God.
manuevering through the pipes and fucking
Yes.
swinging
Yeah,
and
that was
squeezing.
so fucking badass.
And Noah's like skill with like, I'm gonna basically trap him by leading him down this narrow fucking walkway where only I can escape because of my size and he can't. And then seeing him drown, fuck that.
I thought
That
he-
kind of sucked.
I was a little. I thought maybe he was gonna try to save him because
I
I
thought so
thought he
too.
was going to say something like
Yeah.
"ape,
Yeah.
not kill
Yeah.
ape"
Yeah.
or something like that. But no, he lets him die. He
lets him die.
He walks away.
He drowns. Yeah.
And he gets up to the top. Many of his clansmen have made it to the top because they're all good climbers. That's like part of their
you
culture.
Think they're safe.
Yep,
you think
yep.
they're safe.
But Proximus is up there, and there's a final encounter between Proximus and Noah.
Uh,
Yep.
Ooh, this
And-
is where. Oh man.
and this is we kind of skipped over this, but throughout the journey,
Let's see, Noel.
the
Oh, yeah,
eagle,
yeah, yeah.
his
Eagle's
father's
son.
eagle,
Eagle son.
yes, his father's eagle had been following Noah throughout the time, throughout
Yeah.
this whole time, and
Kind of
there's-
taunting him here and there.
yeah, and there's been some maybe some moments where maybe they kind of like start to bond a little bit,
Yeah.
and so on, and they
It
do
was-
have a moment where they bond where Noah finally says to himself, what Proximus is doing is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop this from happening and save my clan. And then the eagle lands on his arm,
Finally.
and they finally
Yeah.
have that bond
That
that
moment.
his father had with the eagle.
It was the visualization, the
Yes.
manifestation of
His character
Noah's character growth.
Yes.
When he was awkward and doubted himself in the beginning of the movie and cowered away from the eagles, I think in that scene, Eagle's son flies by and ends up scratching Noah on purpose. And Noah's like, fucking guy, dude, shit.
Yes.
Don't be such a dick. And then after they get murdered and their village is burnt down, fucking Eagle's son shows up and he's all like, oh, fuck, this is it. This is the moment where he's going to come land on my arm. And then Eagle's son is all like, yes, this is it. Psych, bitch! Blah! And he fucking scratches him. And
Yes.
then Noah's like, fucking guy. And then so throughout this whole movie, that's what we see a lot.
Yes.
But it's less and less as Noah's character is growing and he's getting more angrier and more confident. And I think Eagle's son is noticing that change and he's all like, yep, you're doing it, man. You keep doing that.
Yeah. So this final encounter between Proximus and Noah.
And what also led up to it too is that we find out in the film that there is a song. You
Yes.
know,
Oh,
that
yeah.
Yes.
calls them, that tames them, what have you.
You hum
And
it.
there is a moment where Raka wants to hear it, and he's like, "Oh, I'd be ashamed. I would love
Yeah.
to hear a song right now." So it's like it's also this additional lead up
Yeah.
Yep,
to
yep.
this
Yeah.
moment.
All of that
on
is
so
very
many
good.
levels.
Adds to it.
Like
Yep.
the-
And when it gets to this point where he's there, the Eagles are in the air, and he start like his final words are the song.
Yeah. Yes.
And just taking back his clan and his
And
his
the clan
now-
joins
oh
him, and they're all
my
like,
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
It reminded me of Wolf of Wall Street with Matthew McConaughey is going, oh.
It reminded me of Lord of the Rings because the Eagles
Lord of the
come
Rings.
in at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I was have to say that.
I was
And it reminded me of the
like,
Smoky
yes!
Mountains too. Like
No.
I had that feeling as a whole.
I
yes.
was waiting for Noah to take a line of coke. That's what I was.
Fucking guy. That would have been a very interesting ending to this movie,
Oh,
but that's
man.
where it
And then
ends.
just
is
go crazy on
the
Proximus.
Eagles just fucking, and then the
Dude.
Yes, they come
Eagle's
in.
son does the final "This is Sparta" kick. Did you guys catch
Yes,
that?
yes.
Because like all the other Eagles are pushing him closer towards the cliff, but he's not falling yet. And then Eagle's son just comes dead center.
This is
and
Planet of the
this
Apes.
is Planet of the Apes.
This is
Just
Eagle
kicks
Clan.
him- Kicks him, and the fucking Proximus goes falling down to his death.
yeah, dude.
And then they go back home, and you see them rebuilding, and you think, good, they're good now. And then Mae shows up.
They have a little, and Noah and Mae have a little conversation where it seems like Mae wanted to kill him.
I think she was more prepared. I think
yeah.
she wasn't sure how
And-
this was going to go.
And that was really
And again,
interesting.
yeah, that
Oh,
scene
yeah.
was a bit confusing considering what had just happened between them.
I think it played like honestly, what it came off to me it was like ultimately like I trust you, this and that, but
She
I'm
doesn't
still,
trust Apes. She doesn't like Apes, right?
I'm finished. But I'm still kind of racist against you guys.
Yeah,
That's how it felt.
yeah. Like she
Because
doesn't.
there is still this trust within humans for the apes. It's like,
was.
you know what?
There
After
was.
all the time we share each other, I still don't fuck with you. Like
Yeah.
that's how it felt to me on
Yeah.
purpose.
I
Yeah.
think so.
can
I
see
think that's right. I think you got it spot on. There was a little bit of sort of hatred towards his kind just because
Because this was ours.
This was
yeah.
ours. Yeah.
And I love that conversation too, where Noah says like, "What part
want
of
me to
this
do?
earth
Yeah.
is us goes
Yep.
to us."
Yeah.
Like, like the humans in their fucking hubris, and this
Yeah,
is
man.
exactly how we are now. Like we
want it all back.
Yeah, we deserve all of this. So like we
Yeah.
can take everything. We can control the animals and use them however we want and torture them and eat
Yeah.
them and fuck them and whatever.
What?
And
Humanity is. I caught that too.
What was that last one?
yes, yeah, that too.
Okay, no, hey, man. Wait.
And it's just
No. Humanity's a virus, man. We're not
Yeah,
mammals.
and-
We're a fucking virus.
And it is just, and Noah just wants to have what basically Caesar wanted, just to coexist
Yep.
and be fine. But Mae has this still,
think Mae wants that
300
too,
years
man.
later, somehow still has
No.
this sort of modern human hubris.
I think Mae
that-
kind of wants that too, but I think that she
To
understands
an extent,
that it's not
I lean
possible.
more with
They
Sam on
want to
this
take it
one.
all back.
Yeah, I lean
think,
more on that.
I think that's her thing. Like, we want to take it all back. The apes don't deserve it. This is our planet, not yours. And then
it becomes very, very black and white when she says it belongs to us. Like
yes,
it belongs
like
to,
it belongs to us. Yeah, it belongs to us. Like
that's a very
like they had a right to it and everything. And yeah, so then the movie ends with her
Going back to
to this base or whatever that has existed apparently, and she gives the cassette, whatever this is. They put it
the
into
Nintendo
their
cartridge, right?
Yeah, it
It's
looks like
I believe it looks like
it looks like
ape
something
track.
out of the 80s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does
ape
look like
track.
a track.
no, I said
Yeah.
ape track.
And it-
Stupid.
Oh, got one in there before the end.
Congratulations,
it's a
Uber.
cassette.
Congratulations.
They put it in.
Yeah, and they've been trying to communicate, I guess, with anybody for the last 300 years.
It
And
moves
they
the
finally-
satellites.
Yeah.
So I imagine a lot of the time was spent rebuilding those satellites because
They're not rebuilt.
They look like they've been worked on, like with certain tiles.
They looks
look
like they've
like-
just been they just what they are
Deteriorated.
deteriorated,
I'm
and
sure
that's
they've
they
been
just
working on them. You wouldn't be able to still work a satellite like that without making some modifications. and
they
changes
don't
to
look
it.
I'm
any
not a-
modified at all.
I'm not a satellite expert, so I can neither comment
I am.
or-
And those are absolutely modified. So anyway,
Thank you, Ule.
they with this cassette,
by nature, I guess.
with this cassette, they're able to move those satellites to a new area, which is what prompts them to start trying to reach out. And immediately,
They hear a voice.
Yeah.
it's so good to hear another voice. Yes, we're here. What's
And
up?
it
How are
ends.
you? Yeah.
You guys want to jump on the Zoom call?
I
Yeah.
still don't understand
Can you
how.
call me back in 5 minutes, man?
What
I'm afraid-
fuel are they using for the energy? And 300 years later, is there any fuel left?
Like a generator could be a dam. Could be like a.
Where's the dam?
Fucking-
Where
I don't
is it?
fucking
Where
dam.
is this
Sam,
energy coming from after 300 years?
There could be humans running
No
on
regression
treadmills.
again.
No, it
I
could
don't
be the
understand.
dam.
Running on treadmills
But whatever.
that powers
Hopefully
everything.
the next
And that's why
movie is
everyone's so
explained.
fit.
Let's grade this damn thing. Yeah. And everybody's so clean. Where are these showers? Anyways,
Clearly, you've never
let's-
seen Lost.
Let's grade this thing. Let's grade this thing.
Dharma
Yeah.
initiative.
Let's grade it. Let's hear it. Uble?
Go for it.
Oh,
Uber.
you're gonna start with me.
Always.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie A minus. I think an A minus is due because again, I'm only giving it
All
that
right,
grade
let's pop
because
us into the grade machine over here.
there you go.
Do it.
I'm only giving it that grade because in part I feel like part 2 will justify that A. If this was a one and done, if they announced that this is the way they're ending everything and they're not going to do a part 2, I would probably give this movie a B.
No, I'm
a
sure
B,
it's in your part
just
two.
a regular B.
Yeah, they're definitely doing.
Of
another
course,
one.
that's why I'm giving it an A because I
Let's take it
know.
A
Did
minus.
you say
I
A or
know
A minus?
A minus.
A
A
minus.
minus?
The nitpicks that I have are only because I feel like this is a setup movie, like an intro movie. It would be like getting annoyed with Lord of the Rings because they didn't give you more information on, I don't know, Sauron or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it comes in the later parts. Don't judge it just based on that. So yeah, A minus.
Yeah. So despite the issues I have with it, I know I'm very passionate when it comes to the
No,
issues.
that was great.
I think overall the movie is good. Like I said in the beginning, I think my general thoughts, it is good. Everything that has to do with the apes, I think is pitch
Great.
perfect, really great. I really wish they would have done more primitive humans. Like
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I like seeing humans suffer, but I want to see some humans be enslaved.
You wanted Neanderthals.
I wanted to see humans being treated how animals are treated by humans
Penned
today.
up.
Like being like some humans are their pets. I would have liked to have seen Proximus with a human a pet. Like he's just kind of
Cattle.
like or humans doing the
You
work.
just want to see him like on a.
Like-
you want to see on a chain, right? Like
I'm just
on a
saying, after
leash.
300 years, they would be doing that to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the original movie, that's pretty much what they're doing to them.
Especially how they like showed that how they catch them.
Yeah, that
like,
whole
wild-
scene ends up being kind
Useless.
of useless because
They
you're
don't- we
thinking,
never see
why
them
are they
past that.
why are
Yeah,
they
it's true.
capturing
We
them?
don't. We never see them again.
And that's what I thought.
Maybe
Like,
part
oh, we're
two.
gonna see them later working and being used by the
Yeah.
apes in certain ways to
dancing.
Yeah. So I wanted to see that. Maybe I'm just a sadist for that kind of stuff.
Yes.
They couldn't do that, Sam.
They should have done it.
They couldn't.
The issue with the humans again. Maybe they'll explain it. I don't know how they're gonna explain after 300 years that so much hasn't changed, and they just feel like there should have been some regression, even with the people who were not affected by the virus. Something different. Maybe they still talk, but they're kind of with low technology, trying to figure out how to like advance their own maybe small village. Or,
Like-
I don't know, something else that
I'm trying to wrap my head around.
It felt way too close.
But see, that's the
to-
talking,
to what
the language,
done.
right? The talking. That's what
Is
bothers
it
you
the
the most.
technology and everything?
So what would you
How has
want,
the
though?
technology survived
Okay.
300 years?
But even before the technology part, you were still saying that you didn't like how they were talking about things and explaining.
Yeah, the
things.
modern way
So
they
what,
talked.
right? So what would you have wanted? Would you have wanted for like this is Mae? She's been in a bunker her whole life.
I would
where
have-
There's books.
You
and
know
there's
what would have
audio
been
recordings, and she would have been like, "Hi, me ape, me Mae,
Yeah,
me Mae, you,
I
you
would've-
ape, me Mae."
I would have.
It's
I would
fucking
have.
been 200, 300 years, man. It hasn't-
Exactly.
That's like
Or even what
my
if they have their own? What if they have a new language? What if they like? There's just
in
so many ways.
300 years?
Yeah, why not?
George Washington was 300 years ago.
And the English language has changed significantly from 300 years ago.
Thou does not know what thou is speak of stuff of.
I understood what you said.
Thank you, man.
So
See,
it-
Sam?
All I'm saying is just the human elements could have been done a little better. Anyways, back to my grade. I still
Yes.
give it a B+ because I think the movie's
all right,
good.
That's not bad.
Oh, that's sweet.
Arturo?
Nice. I give it
Close
an
this
A.
off. There you go. Nice and close. This is a man
You know,
who wants to go home. That is the grade of a man who wants to go home.
I know. I thought that with the grades we would see some variety and stuff, but everything's just getting A's. It doesn't matter. We can do thumbs ups. We can do emojis. Everything
Whoa,
just
we
gets
have-
the
we-
top.
We need to watch something that I don't enjoy.
I don't
You've
think I gave
given
Monkey
4
Man an A.
A's.
I didn't give Monkey Man an A. I think I gave Monkey Man a B+, right?
No, but
The
he's talking about
average,
me
though.
because
The
now I
average.
finally jumped onto
Oh.
letter grades and I keep rating everything as A's.
Have you
Oh,
given a
you
B
have.
in any of
I
them?
have a list of my movies for the year, and some of them have gotten less than an A.
Oh, okay.
I even have a D+ on that list.
A D+?
plus?
I have to know what
Please
that is.
tell us.
Not until the worst
tell us,
movies of
please?
the year episode.
Okay.
Oh, you're
All right,
oh,
all right.
What a tease.
That's enough. That's enough,
Okay,
guys. Hope
fine.
you guys enjoyed Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What's our average? What the
Our
Morons-
average as a
an
more
A-.
A minus. Yeah.
Yeah, Morons Mince movies give Kingdom of the
minus.
Planet of the Apes an
A for
minus.
ape.
A? Yeah, A minus.
A for ape.
Yes, fantastic.
Oobleys.
Okay. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
And
here.
as always,
Have a dark night.
Have a dark night.